Hello folks, welcome to the reincarnation of a previous series here for FIFA 23. It is the very first episode of the Suitable Signing series. We've done this for FIFA 22 and I've decided much later on down the road that we're going to do this for FIFA 23 as well. We're going to go through different tactics, different players, different positions and formations, and we're also just going to give you the best signings for each individual role as well as that. If you're new to the channel, welcome along. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, ring the bell to get notifications every time I upload. Today, we are focusing on false nine strikers, the best false nine strikers to sign for all sorts of different ratings. I'm going to go through the suitable traits, the best kind of attributes that they need, and obviously we're going to go through each rating variety as well. So let's not beat around the bush too much, let's get into it. Starting off with the overall rating groups. Those of you who watched this series last year will of course remember how this works, tweaked it a little bit. What we do is I'm going to show you 4 players for each rating group. So we've got 60 to 74, then we've got 75 to 82, and then 83 plus. And this is really for anyone who's kind of doing different career modes or maybe playing with different kind of teams on online seasons and things like that. So, you know, we're not just going to give you kind of the highest rated players. You can really kind of get a whole range of different players here. Let's talk about the required traits first. I like to specify 6 traits in particular and attributes that we are looking for. Starting off for this false nine, we are naturally looking for passing, but I've specified here that we also want long passing. That's very important. The difference between a general striker in a possession system and a false nine striker is that they are naturally going to drop off very deep. And as a result, you're going to get them kind of distributing the ball over kind of longer distances. So as a result, it's very important that their long distribution is also as good as their short distribution. On top of that, we are looking for agility. Why? Well, you're going to notice again, because they're dropping into pockets of space in the midfield areas, it's going to be very crowded, so they're going to be under a lot of pressure quickly. They're going to have to turn out of trouble very quickly and very relentlessly as well. So you're going to want to make sure that generally, other than one exception that we have on this list, that they can turn their way out of trouble very quickly. We're also looking for ball control, very natural. Again, you're obviously going to want them on the ball often, so you're going to want to make sure that they can bring it under control and kind of keep it in those tight spaces. And on top of that, we're looking for a high attacking work rate. This is because it's going to enable them to more effectively and repeatedly and at a higher kind of amount, I guess, pick up those spaces. If they are on a low attacking work rate, you'll notice they really just stand around a lot more. With a high attacking work rate, they're more likely to pick up those positionings, as they are with this stat as well, the positioning. How good their attacking positioning will obviously be dependent on this positioning trait. So that is also something that you are looking for. And finally, we're also looking for vision. What vision does, and there's a little bit of confusion about it with regard to does it actually matter or not, it absolutely does. It really affects in particular the likes of through balls. It's going to enable them to, if you are playing the likes of through balls, you obviously want it to go ahead of the player, the target that you are kind of aiming for. And you obviously, with higher vision, they're then going to be able to execute that better and put it into their path better. With a lower vision, it's going to be, well, it's not going to go where you're looking for in terms of those through balls. So vision is really going to affect any kind of low or ground or high through balls. So let's start off with players in the 60 to 74 range. This is what you of course been waiting for. We start off with Lucas Beltran, 72 overall and 79 potential. I do want to specify as well that players in this kind of all of this series don't necessarily have high potential. You might need a player who's ready to kind of hit the ground running there and now. You need that instant impact to achieve your objective in your career mode. So they could be of any age and they could have any potential. So do bear that in mind. Lucas Beltran, 21 years old for River Plate, currently plying his trade, of course, in Argentina as an Argentinian national. So you can pick him up for a very, very relatively decent price, as you can with this man as well. Mamadou Kalisen, 65 overall but 78 potential. Again, 21 years of age, from Senegal. Playing for FC Basel, and you'll notice generally with the height that we see here, 5'11", 5'9", the majority of these players, other than a couple of exceptions, you know, you're going to find are under 6 foot, and that really plays into that agility as well. Next up, we have Mateusz Pracelik of Hellas Verona. He is currently out on loan, so do bear that one in mind as well. You will have to wait, of course, until the next season. Again, 21 years of age, 67 overall, but 76 potential. He is one of the exceptions here at 6 foot tall, of course coming from Poland, but a really good gem that you can get in kind of lower league saves. Think if you're particularly kind of in, you know, maybe League One, the Championship, the Serie B, the Bundesliga 2, etc. This is a player that you could really get a lot of fun of. Or if you're in obviously the top leagues of, say, Poland, for example, he could really suit you there as well. Finally, on the upper end of this range, we have Luka Waldschmidt. On the older end, compared to these other guys who are 21, he's 26 years of age, but can still grow a little bit. Remember, you do have dynamic potential as well. He's at Wolfsburg, made the move from Benfica, because coming from Germany, 5'11" as well, and the only left-footed player in this range. Next up then, we move on to the 75 to 82 range, and we start off with the biggest one, I guess, in this section, Julian Alvarez. 79 overall and 86 potential, of course, applying his trade for Man City. He has just signed, which means you will have to wait until the January transfer window or the winter transfer window in order to sign him, should you wish to, or maybe you have a Man City career mode, in which case you'll be okay anyway. But of course, 22 years of age, 5'7", very agile, and just a very, very good false nine indeed. We've got Alexis Sanchez, of course, on the upper end of the age range here at 33 years old. You're not going to get any growth out of him, but if you need someone there and now, ready to go, he's the man. Again, 5'7", very, very agile, and we know what he can do. He's versatile. He can play really across that front three, and perhaps even behind the striker as well. But as that false nine, I think you really get that best role out of him. On top of that, we have Josip Brekalo, 79 overall and 82 potential, 24 years old. He's at Fiorentina. Again, I do believe he's out on loan, so you'll have to wait a season for that. Coming from Croatia, he's moved about a little bit. He's been at Torino and places. He's been at Wolfsburg. Really kind of can't settle into a rhythm and at a club. But hopefully in your career mode, should you sign him, he can, because he's very, very good in this role. And finally, we have Anderson Talisca. Again, not going to grow, but he's 82 rated. He's very, very good indeed. He's the tallest in this entire video at 6'3", but just supremely talented. And his agility, I believe, was somewhere along the lines of 86, 87, which is just pretty remarkable for someone who is 6'3". So he's really an outlier on this list. Still 28 years of age, which means that, you know, whilst he isn't really going to grow that much, minus a rating or two, he's going to be there for a lot of time. You know, he's got a lot of seasons in him still, and at Al Nassr as well. I think you could get him for a fairly relatively decent price compared to if he was, you know, say one of the big clubs in the top 5 European leagues. This is also a good time to remind you that if you want to get access to lots of fantastic perks and rewards, check out my Patreon down below, because on there you can get access to exclusive FIFA 23 tactics videos, such as Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough. We have access to Real Sociedad. We have Will Still Star Ram. We have Eagle Tudors Marseille. A whole range of fantastic tactics that you guys will love, including my FIFA 23 tactics package as well as exclusive access to early access to videos, behind the scenes videos, Discord server access, fantasy football access. A great way to support the channel, and a massive thank you to all of my lovely, wonderful patrons who have kindly decided to donate. You guys are keeping the channel alive, keeping it going, and I really want to say, you know, a massive thank you to you guys as well. So do go and check that out. The links will be down below. Next up then, we're going to round it off with the 83 plus tier. For those of you who are at the kind of elite clubs and looking to really get someone who's ready to go now, we start off with Paulo Dybala, one of the quintessential false nines, very versatile as well. You can pop him around onto the wide areas at cam as a false nine, and he'll work really well. Of course, just signed for Roma, so you'll have to wait 6 months until the winter window, but one of the better options, a truly tremendous option, providing, of course, you can keep him injury-free. Next up on the list, we have De Thomas, 83 rated and 83 potential. Again, not much room to grow. I still think you could get a couple of really increased ratings and attributes out of him because of the dynamic potential, providing that you do kind of get him in form. He's currently at Rayo Vallecano, recently moved there, and in Spain as well, and there's definitely some leeway with regards to getting a decent price for him as well. Next up, we have Memphis Depay. You're very lucky at Atletico Madrid. For any of you who are starting a career mode or doing a kind of seasons with Atletico Madrid, you've got two, because I really could have gone for Antoine Griezmann as well. Both of these guys have got very, very good roles and attributes and stats, perfectly suited to a false nine kind of position. 85 overall and potential, 28 years old, and obviously at Atletico Madrid. But like I say, you could have gone for him or Griezmann. I really preferred him just because of the age thing, most of all, and also a little bit more versatility with regards to his attributes as well. And finally, we could not do a false nine list without this man. He's a bit of an outlier because the one thing he lacks in this game that we have specified is agility. His agility is only about 68, So on the kind of higher end of the 60s, but you know, really a bit lower than all the rest of these guys. But you know, Harry Kane these days is the quintessential false nine, isn't he? You know, all his other stats really outweigh that, which is why he's on this list. You know, his long passing, his distribution in general, his ball control is far beyond anyone else in this list. So he is just absolutely tremendous. And obviously, if you can afford him, he'll only have, what, less than 2 years remaining in career mode. If you're a year or plus in, he'll have less than a year remaining. So you could get him for a decent price. And I think the likes of, you're doing someone like Bayern Munich, Manchester United career mode, snap him up. Come on. So with that being said, that would round it off for this video. If you've got any suggestions for players who you think I may have missed out, then get at me in the comment section down below, just like you did last year. I absolutely loved hearing any suggestions that you guys had. Some players do kind of slip through the cracks occasionally, slip through the system and the kind of algorithm I use to kind of discover these players and decide on these players. So, you know, get your suggestions down below, and I really will love to hear that. And maybe we do kind of spin-off videos in the future. Make sure to keep an eye on future videos of this ilk. We're obviously going to do false nine strikers. We're going to do box-to-box midfielders, target man strikers. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of best positions for different kind of tactics. So we'll do best strikers for possession tactics, best wingers for possession, best wingers for counter-attacking systems, and so on and so forth. So make sure you stick around, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell to get notifications every time I upload. And you can, of course, get access to that. With that in mind, we are going to round it off there. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And until the next one, I will see you soon.